Indonesian lady doctors, I call them bidadaris.
Yeah.
You ask all the PDKI lady doctors, they will know why I call it all bidadaris. Kalau dari Bali lagi Dewa Dewi Bali ya, lagi
Dewi.
bidadari besar kan, lagi Dewi. So which part of Bali are you from?
I'm from Singaraja, the north part.
Is that where the cliff is? The cliff where the temple is with the monkeys around and all that? We went there in 2008, you know,
yeah,
remember?
That's around 30 minutes from my hometown. So I'm a bit close to the central of Singaraja.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. But
Kombanwa. Who's that doctor? I've met her. What's her name? What's Naoko?
Naoko.
Yeah, Mrs. Naoko here.
I met you in Kyoto, isn't it? We were hosting a seminar together.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. Nice to meet you again here, Dr. Lucy.
Yes. Kyoto is very historic for me.
Dr. Husni has a good memory.
Oh yeah, especially ladies. I know very the faces well. So Ping Fu has a lot to learn from me later on when it goes on.
Yeah, Prof, you have to teach me.
So how is Japan now? It's still, the COVID is still hitting a lot of people.
Yes, that's right. Yes, we are now in the third wave of COVID-19, but the peak is over. The number of the patients is now decreasing, but still we have a lot of patients, especially in the big city.
Yeah. Who's the other one now? Dr. Goldberg from?
Yeah, Colin. Hello, Colin. Colin comes from South Africa. Yeah, hello. This is Dr. Husni, our president-elect of World Organization of Family Doctors in Asia Pacific region.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, teacher.
How are you? First time I'm meeting you. You're based in Cape Town or Johannesburg?
Yes. No, in the Cape Town.
Cape Town, yeah. I know your Professor Musa well. We used to meet pretty often. You know Musa?
Yeah.
So five of you. Pardon?
Yeah, I think he's a professor of virology.
Yeah, he's the president still, isn't he? He's got one more term to be for the South African for the African region, Wonka.
Yeah.
So very good to see young doctors already, and to allow us to retire soon, and we take a back seat and watch you all take over the leadership.
Okay, we're starting now. So I will record this. So maybe many people will watch us on YouTube. So let's start this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar tonight. This is very special event because we will have speakers from our best participants in our second batch training. Our training regarding young doctors, entrepreneurship and leadership training. And before we're answering the main session, we will have a keynote speaker from Malaysia. He's Dr. Husni, our president-elect of World Organization of Family Doctors in Asia Pacific region. Please, Dr. Husni, we need your motivational speech.
Thank you, Erfen. Right, Assalamualaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, and very good evening to everyone here, wherever you are. First of all, I must extend my appreciation to Dr. Erfen and Dr. Wong Ping Fu for their very kind invitation to say a few words to this evening session. I think this is my second appearance here. I was given the privilege at your first leadership training as well. I'm very happy to see to know that this is a very active group within this region and extending beyond our shores as well. So it is a good sign. It all goes very well for the for Wonka in the future. And it shows that thanks to Zoom in a way, that we've been able to connect ourselves very closely, although we are physically very far apart, but I think everybody is very closely connected now, and all the better. In some ways, perhaps COVID has done us a good favor in that sense, you know. So we've all come together for one common cause. Lately, that is because of COVID, but I think the Raja Kumar movement has taken another initiative, which is very, very well, which I must give due compliments to the leadership, and it is good. So today, I must congratulate again to you all for successfully completing the second series of this leadership and entrepreneurship training for our young doctors. And I think it is a very important series of sessions to connect with everybody here. As you know, Wonka has been established long ago. My first appearance, my first participation in Wonka was in London. I think World Wonka in the 80s. I can't remember exactly when, but the world president was our own Raja Kumar himself. And I was not a member of the academy then, but I just went there and I wanted to get to know and had the privilege of meeting the late Dr. Raja Kumar. So here I am, and here you are also carrying his name. And I think it is a privilege because I know that man personally ever since then. It was him who actually mentored me to be very active in Wonka. And I'm happy to see that the younger generation in my area, in my country, as well in the whole region, are bringing this leadership, young doctors leadership movement on an upper scale. Very good cooperation, very good camaraderie. That I must say, and happy to note that. Now, as I understand it, this particular second session, there are 40 doctors as compared to 11 participants in the previous group. So this is a very good sign, which shows that people are taking interest. And I hope you will continue some more with some of the initiatives. It's all a sign of good cooperation. And it will augurs very well for the future because you all are already knowing one another at this level. And that to me is very, very important. Yeah. So it is easy by the time you take over your country's leadership, you already have that sense of knowing one another on the personal level. And it really helps a lot in working together. All right. Now, as I understand it also this evening, as a result of this series of programs, tonight we will be witnessing a presentation, 5 presentations from the various top participants. And I'm all ears and all eyes to see what you all have to show. I strongly believe that Wonka APR and all the regions around it with young talents like you all, as they're talking about 5G, and already today, I've already seen some Facebook postings on 6G. So I don't know what's going to be there, but it's more different. It will carry up your communication and your cooperation to a higher level. So I'm sure, as I said, I already used to joke with Erfen, you are Erfen Musk as like in the likes of Elon Musk, and my own Dr. Wong is like a Dr. Jack Ma, Jack Wong kind of thing. So we'll have many of you in that line. Not directly in the other lines, but at least having some, developing some innovations, specifically, of course, more, which I would prefer to family medicine. All right, I'm sure there'll be innovations coming in family medicine for some of you, and this will be something to look forward to. So I see a bright future in all this cooperation, and I'm extremely very happy. And again, as I said, when we take over the leadership, I have promised you the support. I will guarantee you that support will be there when I assume the leadership. So I look forward to tonight's presentation. Thank you once again. Thank you, Erfen. Thank you, Wong, and good luck. And I hope I hope to see some very good initiatives tonight. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Husni, for your great motivational speech, and all the best to Wonka APR. Okay, before we answering our main session, let's see our sponsor. They will deliver a video to all of us. Wait a minute. It's okay. I think that we have internet disturbance connection. Now we are answering we're answering the main session, and we will have the first speaker. He's Dr. Hong Thi from Malaysia. He will deliver his business plan and also his existing business. And he's one of the best participants in our first batch training. Please, Dr. Hong Thi, present your PPT. Yeah.
Okay, everyone can hear me and can see my screen. Is my screen can be seen?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah,
okay, all right. So a very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all. My name is Hong Thi. I'm a family medicine specialist from Penang, Malaysia. So first of all, I would like to thank the Raja Kumar movement for inviting me to share some experience with my business. Yeah, we are going to start this. My business is about this mobile wellness. So it's an old concept, but it's a new idea. So what I'm doing is actually like, I think all of the GPs will do like home visit. I think this is long ago, we already do home visits. But we are attending to more of like acute of kind of care. But what I'm talking now, what I'm doing now is more of a wellness. So we are talking about like more of like health planning and what we call preventive care. So it's actually is a non-urgent visit. Okay. So I think first of all, I will share how I started these things. It started a few years ago, actually because of my laziness. I used to bring my parents and use my parents-in-laws to clinics for checkup and also for blood tests. So I think along the way, I think it's a bit troublesome for me to bring them along, because I need to bring them to clinics. After clinics, I need to bring them home again. So might as well, I just take a few of the blood tubes, go back home. I just wake up maybe 10 minutes earlier. I have to draw bloods. Then after that, I will go take the blood to the clinics and run the test. And after the test is done, so I will, pass the results to the consulting doctors, or me myself interpret the results to them. So that's how I started the things. And in 2017, when I first in touch with this functional medicine, which is a root cause kind of medicine, which I will explain a bit later on. I started to have this more like what we call more of like a preventive kind of task, and a lot of tasks is run by private labs. So I started to bring this to my parents, and I saw this is a good things that can be scalable. So I started off like from friends and families. So actually now the stage is actually friends and family stage. The disclaimer I want to make is actually I haven't started it incorporated in a company yet, but I'm planning to do that in the future, hopefully by this year. So my business is a very is a very simple concept. Actually, it's mobile wellness. It's very self-explanatory. So the core value of that is the mobile type is actually healthcare within reach, meaning that we're delivering healthcare at the patient's convenience. So now we are not just at home itself. Actually, like my consultations, it's not consultation. Yeah, it's kind of consultations or more discussion about the health. You can do it in a cafe, or if you can even do it at a working place, at everywhere that's actually a patient's convenient too. I'm thinking like maybe like when, especially the very busy executive, when they are catching a flight, we can meet them even at the airport lounge. So that is about the mobile. Okay. The second one is about the wellness. So the wellness is the core value is from the build. Another core value is beauty from within. It's actually optimizing the health through functional medicines and preventive care approach. And this very, I would say that is very in line with our primary care, our family medicines principles. With preventive care is a very important it's a substance in our in our core value of family medicines. So the next thing, I'm just simply explain what is functional medicine. Functional medicine itself is an individualized care, patient-centered and scientific-based approach that empower patients and practitioners to work together for the underlying cause of disease and to promote optimal wellness. So I think our mainstream medicines now, we are very focused on like organ-based kind of diagnosis. So we have these cardiologists, we have endocrinologists, we have pulmonologists, you know. So let's take an example of like diabetes. So diabetes itself is a organ failure. So it's a pancreatic failure. So actually before they went through pancreatic failure, so actually they have a lot of this clinical imbalance. You know, they started off with like insulin resistant. So I think like nowadays they have a lot of tests that you can test about insulin resistance. So you can just work on that. So actually when at the time that the patient fasting sugar is still normal, but actually the patient is building up the insulin resistance, we can start to warn the patients, actually the diabetes is coming on, rather than reassure the patient, oh, fasting sugar is very good, they can continue your life, you can continue eating and whatever you like, you know. So with that, it helps us, you know, to empower the things, and it helps us to help the patients to plan better for their health. Okay, so so this basically can see that actually and it's very how to say, I would say like it's because our health is determined by so many things. It's like our psychosocial, physical exercise, you know, diet, nutrition, xenobiotics, and at levels, our mind, our spirits, our experience, our attitudes is all affect our mind. Then they will affect our fundamental physiological processes before they end up with our organ failure, which is very late. And I think in primary care, it's very important for us to address the underlying issues rather than the patients move to the organ failure that might need a tertiary care. So so my services is a very simple. I give functional consultation. Mainly, I will consult them. Maybe I will do about at least a 45 minutes consultation for the first time, you know, to ask about, yeah, all the components that stated in functional medicines. So to have a better view and with the patient, and usually it's done in the patient's home, in a cafe, you know, when there's a very relaxed conditions, a very relaxed environment. It's just like when we are discussing with our financial plan, when we're planning of our finance for the next 20 years, you know. So we need a more, how to say, a more relaxing conditions. So, and when we are planning for our health, it's also the same. I think we need a relaxing condition rather than our very busy clinics, you know, where we cannot, you know, attend to the single details of the patients that the patients might want to tell us. So that's the first thing I'll do. So after that, I will do a functional testing, but now mainly I'm doing the bloods. But I think a lot of functional testing that are coming up, like using saliva and using the body specimen, the non-invasive kind of test is coming up to tell us that actually what is the chemical disturbance that the patients have before they have this very, how to say it, before they have the real diseases, you know, when the disease is become very obvious, you know. So we are moving towards to like a lot of these functional testing to test the things that haven't have the they haven't have all the signs of diseases, you know. Then after that, I will review the result with them. Then I will give functional management with include lifestyle modifications and some bioidentical hormones treatments and supplements. Of course, the supplements will be like based on the patient's needs. And I of course tell them supplements maybe is have a very limited evidence. Then they can how to say, they can make their what we call informed decisions about when they want to take some supplements. Like, okay. So the future outlooks of this thing is I'm thinking of like building like a kind of health ecosystem, you know, like we are seeking for future collaborations of aesthetic clinics, because aesthetic clinic they do is outer beauty, and what I'm doing is more of like inner beauty and more of like regenerative medicines, like maybe the stem cell therapies or integrative medicines futures. So I think everyone is very know, I think in Asia, I think we all know about AirAsia. AirAsia is a flight company, but actually a part of flight company, actually they are doing other things like that. They have their own e-wallet like BigPay, and they have these lifestyle apps, the Faves, you know. So they are more of like travel and also how to say it, travel and lifestyle kind of ecosystem. But I think health, I think we should also have a health ecosystem that can actually link us together, our service together, so that to provide better service and also to provide how to say a better revenue in the near future for this health ecosystem. So I think that's all I want to share. Thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for the attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leo Hong Ti from Malaysia. Very interesting. And I think that he has a very futuristic business plan. And of course, I think that it will be one of our future works in functional medicine. It's good to know that one of our participants will do that kind of thing. Okay, thank you, Dr. Hong Ti. And now we will have Dr. Wong Ping Fu. And this is an honor for us because Dr. Wong Ping Fu is also our chairman, our chair-elect of Raja Kumar movement. So he wants to present his business plan, and then this is also very interesting. Yeah.
Okay,
Please,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. You all can see my slide. Yes. So mine will be thank you so much for the kind introduction, Dr. Erfen. Thank you so much, the Raja Kumar movement, for having me. And also, I think I'm the next in line presenting after Dr. Hong Ti. So I'm also from Malaysia. So I'm also a family medicine specialist, currently working in the government side. So my presentation will be much more shorter and also simpler than Dr. Hong Ti. So as you can see here, partners. So at one off, you might thinking, oh, what is partners? You know. So I shared one time, you know, with my one of my colleagues, you know. So he was asking whether it is app or you know, something that we use to find our partners, you know, partners in life, or you know, or partners in whether it's any what we call app looking for sugar daddy, you know, that kind of thing. I say not really, but it's something related to health. Okay, yes, mine is something related to health and also something related to wellness, like Dr. Hong Ti presented earlier. So just want to share my initial journey. I think we all know that diabetes, I think we all know it's a very big problem in worldwide, in Malaysia, you know, it's a global NCD problem. I think every year we can see diabetes especially is rising, you know, the prevalence. So in Malaysia, 1 in 5 Malaysians are actually diabetes. And what makes the thing more scary is half of them actually do not know that they have diabetes before. It means that they have not been diagnosed before. So so that is the main thing that brings me to think about this what we call business, not business, a business plan of what we call a startup or a mobile apps. Okay. So yes, because I'm working in the government, so my intention is actually to help my patients. So 30% from of my diabetic patients are actually young diabetic patients who are actually well versed with the the social apps, you know, social media and also mobile apps. That's why I choose this journey. Okay, so this is a what we call a social medical entrepreneurship, in which basically I do the purpose of it to help my patient, but we do not actually earn much from this lah. So having said that, I think when I presented this earlier on during my course, the leadership and also entrepreneurship course managed by Dr. Erfen. So yes, funding, I realized that funding is very important. So in which I will explain, or maybe I will explain a bit later on in the end, the challenges. Okay, so before I start this, yes, I need to have a very good multidisciplinary team, which is they are the backbone of my project. So they include the doctors, okay, my diabetic nurses, diabetic educator nurses, my so-called paramedics, allied help, in which like the dietitians, and also the physiotherapy, the occupational therapy, and also the most important people also in this project is actually which I've earlier left out, is the IT people, the IT, those who can actually make the mobile apps, because not everyone can make a good mobile apps. Okay, I think we all know that because a good mobile app should have a very good, in the sense that a very simple, the very simple interface where everyone can use, very friendly, that kind of thing. So that is one of my challenges of this project lah. Okay, so of course when planning the project, it requires a lot of commitment from the team itself lah. So because I think we all know, in order to have a good project, in order to have a very successful project, we had to plan properly. So in the early phase, I actually had some small meeting with my colleagues, and my team about this project. So basically, because we are in the government, and then we have a lot of other work need to be done in our services. So this has been take a lot of our time lah. So planning a project, so far we have planned, and then the problem of planning is actually we need to get the right person in terms of IT to come up with that prototype. Okay. So again, as I mentioned earlier, so this is what we call mobile apps. It helps to help people diabetic, especially the young diabetics lah, okay, in assisting them to achieve their best diabetic control. So what does this app do? Is actually it helps to plan or to manage their diabetic control, to reach for optimal diabetic control through a few services lah. Okay, so the concept is actually we want to help them to reach their ultimate health. Okay, yes, the partners, the slogan is getting your diabetes to target. So yes, it's a free and then very minimal charges. And then the services that we want to give is actually it have a real-time monitoring of the sugar monitoring, in which is usually there will be individualized plan, in which the concept is when we see the patient, so usually patient will go back. So but what we want is when we see the patient, we will use this app, and then the so-called doctors will actually put in the plan in the apps. So this is the apps that the patient need to on and off, they need to see back what is the plan that has been shared, in the decision. So usually there will be some live chat with my diabetic educators, and my dietitian will provide some healthy meals, the various type of healthy meals, and then we have some calorie counter, and then my physiotherapist will actually prescribe some exercise, and of course rewards. We have those who can actually have a very good reduction in the sugar and have optimize the sugar, so they can receive a lot of reward from this lah. Of course, there are many more which we want to develop on lah. So yes, it's compatible with all the system, whether you're using Android or Apple, and then we have some special features inside, in which one can pay a minimal fee if let's say they need some help to go to home visit, to go to their workplace, to give the so-called treatment or to give advice lah. Okay. So I'm coming to the next slide, which is the last slide of mine. Yes, I have difficulty getting the funding. Yes, because as I said, in order to ensure that my business can be maintained, funding is very important. So I have thought of getting funding from the foundation, help foundation, getting funding from the collaborators, getting funding from sponsors. Yes, it's still in the pipeline. So of course, without the funding, it is very challenging to sustain project, because even though it's a so-called I getting my staff to do it, but we still need to pay some amount to my staff, because sometimes it involves after office hour, after the normal time. Okay, so of course, generally for the initial focus, as I mentioned earlier, 30% of my patients are diabetic patients, young diabetic patients. So I would like to focus on them first, because they are the first, they are the very important age group tackle, because we all know that the legacy effect of diabetes, okay, because we have to hit hard and make sure they have to control the diabetes during the early part of the age lah. So later on, I would like to expand the scope, probably to the diabetic patients more than 30 years old, no, more than 40 years old, and then subsequently those who are able to use the apps. Okay, and not only that, the expansion, I think in not only because we all know NCD does not only confine to diabetes, but it's also involve like hypertension, dyslipidemia, you know, obesity, you know, that would be expanding scope of this project. So I think with that, I thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Wong Ping Fu, a chair-elect of Raja Kumar movement, and he has a great business plan, and I hope that he will find resource for his funding plan, because we will share this session on YouTube or Facebook, because we have recorded this session, and we can also cooperate each other because we are also making a similar app in Indonesia. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ping Fu. All the best, all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And next, we will have Dr. Tahir from Pakistan, Dr. Muhammad Tahir Iqbal. He's running clinic, and then maybe he wants to improve some aspects in his business. Okay, please, Dr. Tahir, one of the best participants in our second batch training. Please. Yeah, please unmute your mic maybe, and then turn on your video, Dr. Tahir.
Fine, thank you very much for introduction. So we will discuss today our existing business and our future plan as we learned through the sessions in the previous days. So what we have existing is that we have general practice clinic, practice in healthcare settings with the focus on health maintenance of the local community, and we mainly advise on the change of the bed lifestyle to avoid pathological services like basic complete blood pressure, X-rays for if there is, joint fractures or road traffic accidents, and diagnostic machines. And we also keep medical record, like if there is medical, then we have to provide that. So here, diagnosing and treating wide range of medical issues, and we prescribe various tests and radiological availabilities, orders, and we treat that by medications and available resources. Next, we want to transform that into family medicine. That is, here our aim is to reintegrate and personalize healthcare for the patients. And it is the deviation from physician-centered tradition model of care to the and such a specialist care. Here we want to educate, we enforce on prevention of disease. We approaches to the patient as a family. As all the family members, we the person medicine home and receive a full range of services. And here we treat acute, chronic, and preventive care, either directly or indirectly with our fellow clinicians. We have the rural practice We have certain problems, that is undeserved populations, and there is lack of knowledge and education. At the same time, there is poverty and limited resources, and that we have to work. In future plan, we have opportunity that is few resources and few persons in open area, and I mean a lot of sample is available to serve them best services to them provide. But at the same time, we have problems like we previously discussed in the previous slide, and also we gain solution to them. And at the same time, there is market. I mean, in that local community, few doctors are available, or few specialists, if they have, or a few paramedical they provide services. But that is, I mean, our competitors, through that, we have compete, and our plan, I mean, the family medicine approach, we have to innovate through that society and community, and gaining that. And our project will be that care. The receiver, patient receptionist, I mean, he keep the record and also present that to the family physician or the doctor available there, and reducing barriers to the care, and trying to advance technology and information system to better serve the patient. I mean, like in this pandemic, like COVID-19, we can make mobile applications like telemedicine approach through data. I mean, we can community brochures and wallpapers and social media use like Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp. Spread our contact number, and through that we can contact our patients and can address their illness and serve, and providing the quality and safety according to the recent guidelines. I mean, if the family practice, I mean, the periphery, if they work well, the patient will be filtered, and we see in our setting that the tertiary care hospitals are full. I mean, those who needed the care, the specialist care, they are being burdened by that simple disease, which can be treated at the peripheral settings, I mean, primary care settings. So we try to so that those who are treated there and the needful will improve. There we that and try to prevent such a disease like hypertension, diabetes, hepatitis C, other major diseases. So what we do, we care for the patient regardless of their age and health conditions. So the patient, we are the patient first contact for their health concerns. I mean, they come to us first, and we navigate in the healthcare system with the patient. We use data and technology, those which are available to us, and we constantly try to improve it. And we care for the patients in terms of their family and understand the effects of community level factors and social determinants of health. I mean, if certain environmental factors are involved in a specific community, we try to, prevent it. So in that context, whole health of the community will be improved. Then the executive summary will be like we have opportunities. At the same time, the problems are there. We find the solution to prevent those problems. And at the same time, we have to establish well repo in the market with the recent guidelines and the best services provided to the community with good price. Competing at the same time with the competitors by good quality and at the same time price that is affordable and a little bit lower if we can meet, and we can also make charity-based programs. I mean, if those who come, they are needful and they cannot afford, we can not, reverse that economical issues. So through that, they will choose us, and according to their expectations, we can, make place in that community, and through that we can have success factors. Success factors is that if these patients, those are visiting and those are being satisfied, their disease is treated good, and global healthcare standard we provide at that local community. We prepare such a team so that those goals can be achieved. And there are staff and office organization. Each member of the team and office work to be maintained according to the standard. And weekly meeting or fortnightly meeting to be arranged to be discussed those issues which are, being hurdles, and we constantly improve that. And there are finances. If establishing, we need a certain budget, and that we can, our own assets, we can use that, and also we can charity-based organizations and from local NGOs or government organization. We can take a loan for that to establish that, and when it is established, then we can, reverse that. According to the markets, marketing and sales, their policies, we have to establish. According to the marketing plan, marketing materials, and promotional events like free medical seminars in that local community, like our senior members discussed. The diabetes being the problem majority in the worldwide, it is growing very fast. Hypertension, those diseases, if prevention, few factors, a few food and dietitian plans in that community, we arrange camps and educational activities the disease burden in the coming years will be, lowered, and hepatitis, hypertension, and other common diseases we can address. So this, and at the same time, they will be addressed, and if we identify those where their levels, if their sugar level is going high, and they are unaware of it, we can, medication we can avoid, and at the same time, they have been referred to us, or if to the specialist, if they need, we can go to them also. Like there's other preventive disease they met this, and networking. If we set up such a clinic in the local community, and then our fellow doctors, family physicians, other we can make such a software so that all those information from that local setting will save to them. And we have suppose 5 clinics in towns, and they collect information, and we have central in the province, and that head office, those come. Research could be done through that, and through that, we can prevent diseases, and we can mark those diseases which are prevalent there, and good treatment and preventable options. We can guide that, and we can also easily local community get best treatment options, according to the international standards, at their 4 steps, with the affordable prices and location. Flexibility of hours, this is that we can provide. We will try to provide, 24 by 7. That will be a great option. If one of our clinicians, our family physician, we put there, we can also make these identities, then we can refer to them certain specialists, or we can also, if a lot of cases are there in the community, we can the specialist, if it is treatable there, we can arrange that, and both will be, doctors, the specialist, as well as the local community, both will be benefited. So through that, we can go. And next is the environment, appearance, and etiquette, and overall patient experience in the pricing strategy. Those all should be maintained. The delivery options which the family physician like us, that is public health. They are the first. We can, think about that. And then we can also provide emergency and urgent care, education of the community, and sports medicine. If certain events came there, we can arrange services to them. Central research could be made from various clinics, and inpatient and hospitalist medicines, various procedures like orthopedics, gastro, maternity, child. Their basic procedures can be done, basic surgical procedures, and international and foreign medicine can be provided. and administrative assistant under family physicians at various clinics. From that, we can collect data and we can serve the community as well. And IT personnel, one at the center would be the preference. The system at each clinic can be, interconnected and can be managed. Then the paramedical staff and the other members integrated team management to that we can, activities arranged. And one center in the best interest of the community, we can provide tools of technology according to the community. Telemedicine, like we discussed, like that, other applications, we can work on that in the best interest of the patients. And the project change control, preventable disease, we can target those in our free seminar or setups. And then we can expect other vast regions. And that's all. And thanks a lot. And Jazak.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Tahir, for your detailed business plan, and he follows all of the steps in our training, and it's really great. So you can see one of the best examples in how to make a very detailed business plan, and then I think that it will be one of your strengths, Dr. Tahir, in improving your clinics. And we know that everyone can make clinics, but of course, it's not really easy to make advanced family physician clinics. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tahir. And next, we will have Colin Goldbrook from South Africa. So Colin is our senior. He wants to make IT business. Please, Colin. I will help Colin to share the screen. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, you can start, Colin. Yeah, please.
Thank you. And then the whole philosophy behind my business is to provide assistance to people who are not able to master the computer technology or want to master it. People tend to be very fixated in the ways that they learn things. So they always need a helping hand to be taught to do other things. Can I have the next slide, please?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, the philosophy and concept of my business, the purpose of this business undertaking is to provide both a service and a solution to the IT needs of individuals and also small businesses and also medical practices, as an example. By virtue of consultation, training, advising, and empowering of the client base in the use of the most modern IT and cellular technology. So as to foster a concept of productivity that is fast and efficient and also user-friendly. I should add a point here that sometimes a person can use an older computer and still get amazing results. But again, it depends what the person is actually doing. The next slide, please. There's a body of people within a given target market who, as I mentioned before, who are unwilling and unable to learn the current and future technologies that are available. And they do need encouragement as well as a helping hand in the learning and managing of the latest technology. And it's for the very reason that this business undertaking has been established. However, a lot of work will be done on a pro bono basis. However, others will be charged a reasonable fee. You see, another reason for the concept of pro bono work is that they can always go into a store and they can be a computer store and they can sort it out free of charge even. The business undertaking, next slide, please. The business undertaking will operate like a medical practice, whereby advice and guidance, including the recommendations, will be customized to the needs and circumstances of each individual client, including to his level of understanding. The core values of the undertaking is beneficence, non-maleficence, justice, and service, as you will find in medical practice, which also includes a respect for client confidentiality. The business plan is as it is, however, costs both fixed equipment and training and apps that the proprietor needs himself will be variable costs. And the use of Uber or Bolt will also be a variable cost because that also varies in cost. A tax consultant and a bookkeeper will be needed to help run and manage the business, which will be either a fixed or a variable cost depending on how often they are used. And both of these are outsourced functions. A bank account, including a bank debit card, will have to be opened, and this will attract fees. The next slide is the business plan.
Yes.
We can give you an idea of the ideas that I put across. The strengths are obviously computer knowledge and expertise, and also plus mobile knowledge, the cellular phones and all that. I don't at the moment have knowledge of iPads and iPhones and Apple Macs. That I've still got to learn. The opportunities are wide. Customers can access services that can be customized to the needs of clients. Clients can be educated on good IT and cellular governance and maintenance and management, as to minimize problems to result in possible misuse. Also very important, clients have to be taught as part of business practice never to go into the wrong sites or to go into dodgy sites or immoral sites, because that can attract viruses and people can hack into the computer. And also tell the clients that when you give out your email address, make sure to whom you're giving your email address to, so that you don't pick up problems. Next slide, please. The scope of the business and related practices: computer, IT consulting, app installations, operational systems installation, photo editing, presentations, and general digital photography. I would include there also that I have done scanning of photographs for a school reunion book. So the client would give me a lot of photographs, and then I would scan it in, and then edit the pictures, and then create PDF documents. And that would be stored on the cloud as well for the client to access. Consulting, education, training of clients, especially with reference to the latest available technology, operational systems available. But then there again, sometimes a client can use an older system as well, depending on what the client's needs are. Guiding the clients to the best IT governance and practices, the scanning of photos, as I've mentioned, and storing it on the cloud, converting client CDs to MP3. There's another thing the clients might want. They might want to have their CDs converted so that they can listen to it on another MP3 device, or on the computer or on a smartphone. Referral of clients to other IT professionals as and when needed. And this is very important, because if I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know everything, I have to refer the client to somebody more competent. It's the same as you'll find in medical practice. The doctors in my town, if they're not sure how to handle the patient, they refer the patient to a specialist. Then the next slide is the costs that I have. What each item will cost, like a laptop, a Kindle. You'll also see there, I do mention an Apple iPad mini, because I'll need to go into the Apple field as well, because I will get clients coming from that area. And then, of course, I need to do continuous training myself, because I cannot know everything, and it also attracts a cost. Then, as I mentioned, photography and scanning is taught to clients, and a decent smartphone or a decent camera is the device of choice. The smartphone cameras have improved so much for the years that the need for a digital camera is becoming unnecessary. Hence, you cannot get a range of digital cameras like you could in the past, on account of the fact that the smartphone is actually doing the job. Then I come to the next slide, which is my conclusion and thoughts. A lot of hardware gets replaced and becomes obsolete. The problem is what you know today is already obsolete by the next day. This is the pitfall and the problems, unfortunately. You can remember that with the computers, you had a floppy disk. Then you went onto disks like CDs and DVDs. Now we go onto flash drives, and now we're going onto virtual memory. So things are moving fast and rapidly. Because other technologies take over, such as high quality cameras, lenses, and scanning apps on smartphones, making the need to have a digital camera unnecessary. The Android tablet and the Apple iPad have made the netbook, a smaller version of the laptop, obsolete, and has made many people lazy to want to use a laptop or a PC, and have made many computer functions more convenient. People like to sit down, lie down in bed, and do their computer work without having to carry a big machine around. The need to multitask hardware becomes all the more important, as obsolescence is the name of the game. Knowledge acquired today becomes obsolete in a matter of moments and needs to be updated constantly. Even the proprietor has to do continuous training and research, making all this to be work in progress. And I thank you. And that is my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Colin. It's an honor for us for having you here, because you're from far away from us, from South Africa, and you want to have IT business, and it's really suitable recent days, because you know that we would like to produce more technopreneurs, because we're facing the fourth industrial revolution era. Okay, thanks, Colin. And the last one we will, thank you very much. And then the last one we will have our the only lady presenters for tonight, Dr. Putu Aryani from Bali, Indonesia. Please, Dr. Putu, would you like me to help you?
Okay.
Share your screen.
Okay, I will try to share screen first.
Okay, please.
So I'm using Canva, so I hope it is working.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope so. Yes. Great. Very interesting.
Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes. Very great.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This night I would like to share my business line. So this is not a medical business like the other presenting before. So this is a different thing, I think. So my business, this is some information about me. So I come from Bali, Indonesia. I'm a lecturer in public health and preventive medicine department. So I'm also the member of Family Doctor Association of Indonesia. So before I talk about the business idea, what I already done for like several years until now. So I had a private practice, but because of COVID-19, we are deciding to close it for a while. And the second one, I'm also involved in direct selling or multi-level marketing. Maybe everyone know this brand, Oriflame. So in that business, my level in the senior director. So it is like we have a certain level to achieve. But today I would like to talk about my business idea. So I would like to set up a writing class, but this is not for adult, this is for the children. So why I have this idea? Because I found that my kids and also another children around me, they're very much into gadget now. So I think this is not very good for their future if they really only focus on the gadget and online games or these things. So I was thinking that maybe they need another activity to stimulate their creativity and critical thinkings, and also ability to write an idea in proper way. So I thought maybe if we provide like a writing class, they can get away for a while from their gadget, and also they can express their idea by writing. And because of the pandemic, if I would like to start the business this year, so I have to think of these two ways. So if I would like to do it offline, maybe this year is not possible. So I have to think about online course. So if I do the online course, we will need the online learning platform. Maybe we also need kind of application. But if the pandemic already, maybe we can already face the pandemic and all the vaccination is successful, so we can start the offline class by maybe choosing a place in the neighborhood of my living place, like a cafe or resto, or maybe collaborate with other course place like English course or reading or art course that available around me. And this is a bit of calculation, like a rough calculation what I will need for the business. So if I do it online, of course, we will need to rent a room, or if we can find cafe who would like to join collaboration, maybe we can remove this cost. So this is the total cost for offline. And if we do it online, maybe we will need to pay for website or the application. So actually it will be cheaper if we do it online, but I think it will be great if we can do the course offline, because the feeling of learning offline and online is different. Or maybe if we do it like combination class, it will be great. So I was thinking if we need this much of money, first maybe we need the funding source from the investment, or maybe from the grant. I know that some of the dicti, what we call that dicti, the higher education.
Yeah,
higher
higher
education.
education. Yeah.
Yeah.
Department.
Yeah, they sometimes have this kind of grant for our students or also lecturers, so we can apply for that grant if we would like to start the social business. And also maybe when we can talk with the parents from some schools, and they are thinking also this idea is good things, maybe they can pay for some money for the business, for the class. But I'm not sure with the last, maybe we have to try. Who is the teacher? So I would like to invite my friend in the Faculty of Language and Culture. And also I know some book or story writer or a blogger that maybe can help us to teach the children. Of course, if we do the social business, maybe we will pay not very high payment for them. So we have to explain to the teacher if this is like a social business or charity for the children. And the other, maybe I have to think about the administrative workers for marketing and for the front office, and technician maybe if we will do the class online, and of course the accountant to fix about the financial things. And this is like my outline for the combination class, online and offline. Maybe we have to set up the class by using Zoom, like what we're doing now, or WebEx meeting. And also maybe we will need like a Google Classroom platform to really get in touch with the student, the online discussion. And also we will use, of course, YouTube channel to post material or example for the children, and social media to publish the work. So I think we are familiar with this type of platform. And offline class can be done if the pandemic is over. The learning method, I'm thinking to set up the class with the fun method of learning, so not like a boring class like in the traditional classroom. So this is a bit maybe we have to create like games or how to write in a fun way, so they will not feel stressed to join our class, but they will feel more relaxed and free to write something or to discuss about what they think interesting to be right. And maybe we will have like outside class, going to the beach, and they can write about the beach or something like that. And my plan, we will only do once a week, because they, of course, they have to go to school. And this class will be like refreshing for them. The output, I'm thinking of if children can create the story or short story, or even maybe some student might be good at drawing, so they can make comics. So we will help them to we will help them to publish the work. Maybe first we can do it by online. We can create like a blog, or maybe in the social media. Also, we can have collaboration with local magazine or newspaper for children. And also, I was thinking that this is also a good way to teach the children to make like a booklet or health promotion media in the future. So in the discussion in the class, we have got this idea. So if we ask them to make like a health promotion for their age, so maybe that will be more precise way to say something, like how they understand COVID better than when we make the media for the children. So this is the output. And then how I can promote the business. Maybe first I will promote by doing event or competition first, maybe writing competition or storytelling competition. And then there we can explain about our class. And of course, we will have leaflet or brochure or online promotion by social media and online seminar. So that's all. Thank you. Maybe if there are any comments, please. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Putu Aryani from Bali. Yeah, please stop the share.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And finally, your business plan is also related to health, right? Because you also make promotional goods and promotional flyers regarding health. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all speakers, outstanding speakers. And is there any questions? If there is any question, you can type your questions in the chat box and also on YouTube. But by the way, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, I will share something. From our sponsor. Yeah.
the Kartula team, this organisation has expanded to deploy our technology into multiple countries. Today, we are showcasing the Kartula General Health Ecosystem, an intuitive, mobile way to connect the patient to clinicians to meet their healthcare needs. Kartula General Health applications consolidate modern medical technologies, health guides, information sharing, and efficient telemedicine systems from one ecosystem to connect to health services anywhere in the world. It all starts with the patient. With a quick and easy setup, our app gathers their information to help manage their healthcare journey. Patients can even add family members to help care for their children or to monitor loved ones with health conditions. From here, Kartula can support their health journey. Schedule a health plan, manage your appointments, and check the results. Add and share documents securely with clinicians, hospitals, and health services in a paperless environment. There are in-app guides to help you monitor your health journey, learn about your body, and take care of your family. Get in touch with medical experts and post your questions to a well-managed open forum. And when a face-to-face solution is needed, organise a consultation with your clinician and web app features.
Hi Mishti, great to see you again.
With a few simple taps, you can securely open the Kartula General Health web app on any device, whether it's in front of you or on the other side of the world.
Continue looking after yourself, eat well.
And Kartula has developed a fully customizable health information sharing ecosystem that can be deployed in full or as individual components based on the local requirement. The Kartula General Health platform is a secure, intuitive, and customizable step forward in healthcare technology. Welcome tomorrow, today.
Okay, so if you want to cooperate with Kartula, we will provide a free of charge application from us because we are still in pilot project. Okay, just contact me after this. Okay, thank you. And then we'll continue to Q&A session. Is there any questions regarding all presentation from our speakers? Maybe Dr. Husni, you want to comment something, please?
Yeah, I think some great ideas there. Well, if I don't mind going one by one, which if I can. Well, the first speaker, I think of the T, you're speaking on some slightly different area, which is functional medicine. How are you going to, this is within the community or the locality you're serving, or is it going to be, say, beyond that?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are based in a government clinic setting, like what Ping Fu is also, you know, so how are you going to, where is your market in that sense? You have to identify your market in the first place, I think, when you want to go to something. So what kind of market are you looking at within the localities around where you're serving, or you're going straight away nationwide or kind of thing like that? That's my question to you.
Okay, maybe Dr. Ping Fu, you want to answer directly?
Okay, I will answer first.
Yeah.
I think functional medicine is actually a very new concept, and I think of course the evidence, there's evidence coming out, but the evidence of course is not so robust, I would say it.
Yeah.
But I think it's slowly picking up, and I think like in US, the Institute of Functional Medicine is more than 30 years. It's more than 30 years. Of course, I think they still failed at this moment. They still failed to put it in the mainstream medicine. I think in China, they already started to have the faculty. I think when I went to Shanghai, the University of Jiao Tong, Shanghai, they actually already started in the Faculty of Medicine. They have such a department at the Park Inn. So talking about like my market, I think basically I started with my friends and family, as I told. So mainly is I think a local setting. Mainly is from like other, now is more of like referral from friends. So because as I told, this is a preventive kind of medicine, there's no urgency. So I will do it after office hours, you know, and during the weekends, you know, and I will do it, when weekends and office hour, after office hours things.
In other
So,
words, you already
our
you're
plan
picking
to
up.
actually to scale it to a bigger things. So maybe I want to roll it out is as a in a company, and I try to find some doctors that are interested in this. Maybe we can work together to make it to a bigger scale. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The other, I'll just give comment 1 point each on all the 5 speakers. I'm not an expert, but when I did my MBA, I did a project on AirAsia, you know, so I know pretty well and how Asia is how successful they are. The other thing for Ping Fu, you have the concepts. Like I said, there are many wellness programs. You need to identify what is your niche area of service. How different are you? What kind of different service can you provide? This is my own opinion. That compares to others, for example, you know, you identify your market, but you have to know the players also in the market. There's certain rules you have to know. Potter's, there's a kind of Potter's 5 rules, whatever. When you enter a market, you have to know certain things. So you probably have to start with what's happening around, what are the apps going around, and how different can you be from them? Because you may have your own strength, which I just don't have. It may be your own personal name. You know, I've got a friend who's doing it on a lot of wellness programs. I don't mention names, but it's people who listening to him take his words as gospel truth, you know. So it is because of him. The strength is him as a person. But perhaps in your case, the extent of the type of service you're offering. You know, that's one area. So you really need to know where is your niche, because it's a very competitive situation at the moment. Now, for the speaker from Pakistan, I'm sorry, but there was a bit of connection problems. I couldn't hear very well. But my understanding is you are at the serving the rural communities, isn't it? Is that your target area? Is your rural, you are working in a family medicine setting, which is in the rural area? Is that it? You have to unmute.
Yes, it's in rural area, but we want to, establish it in the town, various clinics. We want
So
to
you are
enlarge.
trying to have a connection between your rural communities and what you can offer to the specialist services, which is in the towns. Is that what you're trying to do?
Through that we can, the load, the burden on the tertiary care hospital, we can reduce to that by filtering the patients. Those who can be treated at that clinic, we can, do it.
There was a similar, few years ago, I think in Rio de Janeiro, there was a very good presentation by one of the presenters from South America. And I think it was something like yours, where it's more rural, but they were trying to connect to the central where the facilities are better. My only question is how accessible is your internet connection in the areas in Pakistan itself? It's such a huge country, and you got your geography there, you know, it's mountainous, and how accessible is your internet accessibility?
Now the 4G and 3G connections, in the city, the 5G is introducing, but the 3G and 4G have
you
been...
have to look at that, I suppose, because...
Yes, it is almost established. 3G and 4G is there. So, internet connections are good. And in a lot of villages, it works.
That would be your challenge, you know, because it is just picking up, you know. So I think for Dr. Goldberg, I think you have a bigger advantage. You have an established business, and all you have to do is to pick up on it and extend your reach. For the final presenter from Bali, what I can say is, yes, you have some options of not being, not doing family medicine, but more on youngsters and all that. I've got 4 grandchildren at the moment. Each of them, they've got things that you can, some of these gadgets, they've got, you know, things that can attract them, which actually is educational. And it seems to work, although it's not very good to you to keep them, to expose them to all the gadgets all the day, but there are some pretty good educational gadgets that, you know, for youngsters. So that's my own observation. So that's my point, my points on each of your takes here. So which I think I'd like to contribute to give some comments. So I when I did my, it was years ago and I did my MBA, but it was quite an interesting project because it was one of it was AirAsia, and there were some of the big corporations I was looking at. So half the time, I think Wong Ping Fu will know that I spent half my time on building up the academy, and building up an academy to what it is today can be quite a challenge, because we were focusing on specialization of family medicine, how to develop, you know, the teaching, the boards, it's a lot of things, you know, but it was a good experience to do an MBA, and this is much I can contribute to give to your comments. There's so many wellness programs going on, isn't it? So first you have to know your strength. What is your strength and what is your niche? It all goes back to your business plan. You have a good business plan, you'll get investors, you get venture capitalists and all that coming in anytime, you know, but it must be good, it has to be solid. It has to be, well, foolproof in that sense, theoretically, you know, but and then you have to know your competitors. Basically, that's how it is today, you know. So I'm a little bit too old to go into all this, but still have some, you know, at the moment I'm concentrating on other things on health economics actually. So maybe I can think of some apps on economics, looking at what you all are presenting. But it's a good start because it's the way to reach people nowadays, isn't it? And with connectivity like 5Gs, and today I saw a posting in Facebook about 6G where you can present in almost 3-dimension kind of situations, and that I think is something going to be more interesting. So I look forward to more suggestions from you all. This is a good start. Congratulations to all of you. So let's say 4 more. We still have how many more months to Abu Dhabi? I hope it's a face-to-face, you know, that I can meet you all in person. Right. Yeah. Thank you. I leave it to the other floor. Maybe I've seen some new appearances here. There's Jasmine, Dr. Madi, so I don't know them. So maybe it's time to get to know everybody here.
Yeah. And we also have Dr. Lucia here, right? She's preparing our next batch in this training. Hello, Dr. Lucia.
Hello.
Do you want to say something?
Where are you from?
Good night to that all. Thank you for all the sharing. And now this time I only just watch and try to understand what is the topic of this business about health or non-health thing. I think it's good that we have our talk here. So I just say thank you to Dr. Erfen, who is invite me to join this Zoom class, and for the next class, I hope it will be held soon. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Lucia. So we will rely on you to reach more participants in the third batch of this training. Okay, thank you. And then is there any comment from Naoko? Hello, Naoko.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for the great presentation. And I have one question. I post it in the chat box now. And Dr. Ping Fu, thank you very much for your great presentations. The mobile app for diabetes control, it sounds great. And I'm very so interested in it. And I just wonder, does it have the function to check the patient emergency condition, like the sick day or diabetes, acidosis or something? Because the mobile app is very useful when the patient is very stable, but the patient condition is not good, and immediately the patient have to go to hospital. If such in the case, do you have some system to check such a condition? This is my question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Nauko. So it's a very good suggestion. I think for the time, my one is still in prototype. So yes, I will take your suggestion into account. And then I want to thank Prof. Husni again, because I think he did give me a lot of tips during the combined session. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Nauko.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Nauko. We also have Dr. Jasmine. Hello, Dr. Jasmine. Can you hear us? Please introduce yourself.
We'd like
Hello,
to see
Dr.
you
Jasmine.
visually if you can appear in person.
Yeah. Hello,
Prof,
Dr. Jasmine.
Dr. Jasmine is our graduate from Malaysia. He's from Malaysia. Yeah. From Sarawak.
All the more reason she has to appear in person, isn't it?
Yes.
Hi, Prof.
Yeah.
Husni. I think you were one of my examiner.
So this is a kind of a reunion.
You have to thank me for
I'm
passing
sorry,
you
just
this.
bunking in on the Dr. Wong's invitation. So very interesting talk here. So I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, I probably shouldn't be showing my face now because I'm in pajamas and all. You wouldn't want to see me, trust me.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jasmine. We also have Dr. Mada Ayu. Hello, Dr. Mada Ayu. Maybe Dr. Mada Ayu also comes from Bali. Hello, Dr. Mada. Can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, I'm from Bali. Nice to meet you and see you. I'm enjoying the webinar. It's very good. Many friends here, and thank you for all. I'm from Bali. Come to Bali. Enjoy.
Okay.
We'll go again.
We're looking forward.
I have to ask Erfen to organize a meeting in Bali one day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We hope so. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mada. And I think that we're out of time. And now I want to share the certificates to our best participants in this second best training. So the first one will be for Dr. Tahir Iqbal. So the Raja Kumar Movement Entrepreneurship Group 1K Asia Pacific Young Doctors Movement presents the certificate of recognition to Dr. Muhammad Tahir Iqbal for being one of the best participants of the Raja Kumar Movement Leadership and Entrepreneurship second batch of the training sessions given during the general sessions of the Leadership and Entrepreneurship New Young Entrepreneurs on February 28, 2021. Dr. Erfen Gustiawan, Young Doctors Representative to 1K PRC, and then Dr. Mel Antonia Aquafera, Secretary the Raja Kumar Movement, and then Dr. Ping Fu Wong, Chair-elect of the Raja Kumar Movement. Okay, and then we also have, certificate for Colin. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yes, so this is the Raja Kumar Movement Entrepreneurship Group 1K Asia Pacific Young Doctors Movement presents this certificate of recognition to Mr. Colin Goldberg for being one of the best participants of the Raja Kumar Movement Leadership and Entrepreneurship second batch of training sessions given during the general session of the Leadership and Entrepreneurship New Young Entrepreneurs on February 28, 2021. Dr. Erfen, Young Doctors Representative to 1K FPRC, Dr. Mel Antonia Aquafera, Secretary the Raja Kumar Movement, and Dr. Ping Fu Wong, Chair-elect of the Raja Kumar Movement. Thank you, Colin. And
it's a pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah. And then the last one will be for Putu. Wait a minute. Yes. So the Raja Kumar Movement Entrepreneurship Group, 1K Asia Pacific Young Doctors Movement presents this certificate of recognition to Dr. Putu Aryani for being one of the best participants of the Raja Kumar Movement Leadership and Entrepreneurship second batch of training sessions given during the general session of the Leadership and Entrepreneurship New Young Entrepreneurs on February 28, 2021. Dr. Erfen Gustiawan, yang Dr. Representative Suwan KPRC, and then Dr. Mel Anthony Aquafera, Secretary the Raja Kumau Movement, and then Dr. Ping Fu Wong, Chair-elect of the Raja Kumau Movement. Thank you, Putu.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Erfen.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Putu. The certificate recognition for Dr. Putu for being one of the best participants of the Raja Kumau Movement. And then also of course, Brother Ping Fu and Dr. Hong Ti, both of them have got these certificates. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so this is the end of our session. See you in the next batch of this training, and Dr. Lucia will be one of our manager for that training. Okay, thank you everyone. Good evening.
Thank
and
you. Good night.
have a nice rest.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Good
have
night.
a nice week. Yeah, stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.